The divorce papers sit on the kitchen counter with a single sentence written across the top in Neil's handwriting. You destroyed everything for him. I read it 3 times before my hands start shaking. He knows. I don't know how much. Don't know if he's found the texts, the late-night calls I deleted, the hotel receipts I buried in my purse, but he knows something. And whatever it is, it's enough to end us, Neil. My voice cracks through the empty house. But his car's already gone. His coffee mug sits in the sink, still warm. He left while I was in the shower, which means he couldn't even look at me. I grab my phone. 7 missed calls from an unknown number. My stomach drops. The call comes again. I answer, Mrs. Chen? A woman's voice, crisp and professional. This is Agent Harlow with the FBI's Cybercrimes Division. We need you to come in for questioning regarding a data breach at Meridian Technologies. The phone slips through my fingers. Meridian, Neil's company, the one he's given 15 years to. The one that just promoted him to senior architect 3 months ago. Right before I met Ethan at that art gallery opening I only attended because Neil was working late again. There's been a mistake, I whisper, picking up the phone. I don't work there. I don't have access to... We traced the breach to a laptop registered to your husband. The files were accessed from an IP address at the Riverside Hotel, room 412. She pauses. You checked into that room 6 times in the last 2 months, Mrs. Chen. We have security footage. The room tilts. Room 412, our room, where Ethan would order wine and I'd pretend we were different people living different lives, where he'd sketch me by candlelight and tell me I was worth more than being someone's forgotten wife. I didn't. My throat closes. I need to speak to my husband. Your husband is currently under investigation for corporate espionage. If you want to help him, you'll cooperate. Her voice sharpens. Come to the field office today, 2 p.m. She hangs up. I stand in my kitchen, the one Neil and I renovated together, arguing over tile colors and cabinet hardware, and try to remember the laptop, Neil's work laptop. The sleek black one he never let out of his sight because it contained, he said, everything that matters to the company. 3 weeks ago, Ethan called me, panicked. His laptop had died. He had investor presentations the next morning for his startup, some AI venture he'd been pitching. He needed something, anything. Just for the night, he'd said, kissing my temple. I'll return it tomorrow. He returned it 2 days later. I never thought to check what else he might have copied. Never thought to ask why a man I'd known for 2 months needed my husband's laptop instead of buying his own. Never thought I could be this stupid. I dial Ethan's number. It rings once, twice. The number you have reached is no longer in service, I call again. Same message, I check his Instagram. Account deleted, LinkedIn, gone. The gallery where we met. I searched their website for his name. The artist featured that night was Rachel Kim. No Ethan. No mention of a male artist at all. My chest constricts. I open my texts. Our entire conversation history, every I miss you and leave him and you deserve better is gone. Not deleted by me. Erased. I run to my bedroom, rip open my nightstand drawer. The burner phone he gave me so we could talk freely is gone too. He planned this. Every kiss, every whispered promise. Every moment I thought I was choosing myself over a loveless marriage. He was using me. The doorbell rings. I freeze. Through the window I see 2 agents in dark suits standing on my porch. They're early. I look down at the divorce papers. Neil's handwriting is steady, controlled, final. He's not angry. He's not pleading. He's just done. The agents knock again. I fold the papers in half and open the door. Mrs. Chen, Agent Harlow says, flashing her badge. We need to talk about what you gave away. Behind her, a black sedan idles at the curb and I realize, standing there in my bathrobe with my husband's goodbye letter in my hand, that I don't even know Ethan's real name. The interrogation room smells like burnt coffee and desperation. Agent Harlow sits across from me. A manila folder thick with documents between us. Her partner, a man who introduced himself as Agent Torres, leans against the wall, arms crossed, watching me like I'm a bomb that might detonate. Walk me through it, Harlow says. How did you meet him? The gallery opening, September 14th. My voice sounds hollow. He was looking at a painting, this abstract piece, blues and grays. He said it reminded him of loneliness. We talked, and you didn't think it was strange? A stranger approaching a married woman? I wasn't wearing my ring. The admission tastes like ash. I'd stopped wearing it in public. Neil and we'd been fighting. He was never home. I felt invisible. Harlow's expression doesn't change. So you were vulnerable. So I was human. She opens the folder. Slides a photograph across the table. It's Ethan, but not Ethan. The man in the photo has darker hair, sharper features. No glasses. The smile is the same, though. That dangerous, knowing smile that made me feel seen. Recognize him? That's not, but it is. Underneath the different styling, the calculated changes, it's him. His name is Marcus Vaughn. Professional con artist. Specializes in corporate espionage and identity theft. She slides another photo. He's worked with 6 different crime syndicates in the last decade. His specialty? Getting close to the spouses of people with valuable information. My hands go numb. You're the 4th wife he's targeted in 18 months. Torres says from the wall. The other 3 are all divorced now. One husband lost his security clearance. Another is serving 5 years for information theft he didn't commit. But Neil... My voice breaks. Neil didn't do anything. I gave him the laptop. I'm the one... Your husband signed a non-disclosure agreement. He's legally responsible for everything on that device. Harlow leans forward. The files stolen contained proprietary algorithms worth approximately $40 million. They've already shown up on the dark web. 3 international competitors have placed bids. $40 million. I think of Neil's face when he got the promotion. The way he'd laughed, rare and genuine, and said, "We're going to be okay now. I can finally give you everything." I'd smiled and kissed him and thought, but I want someone who's actually here. Marcus Vaughn disappeared 4 days ago. Harlow continues. The same day the breach was detected. We believe he's left the country, but here's what doesn't add up, Mrs. Chen. She taps the folder. He had access to that laptop for 2 days. The files were copied, but they weren't sold immediately. I don't understand. He waited 3 weeks, sat on $40 million worth of data. Why? Her eyes bore into mine. Unless he was waiting for something else. Something bigger. My phone buzzes in my pocket. The agents confiscated it when I arrived, but Torres is holding it now, looking at the screen. It's your husband, he says. Harlow nods. Torres puts the phone on speaker. Lila. Neil's voice sounds wrecked. Don't talk to them. Don't say anything without a lawyer. Neil, I'm so sorry. They're trying to make me take a deal. They want me to testify that I knew about your affair, that I suspected what you were doing and didn't report it. He laughs, bitter. They think I'm complicit. But you're not. You didn't know anything. Silence then. I knew about him. The room spins. What? I've known for 6 weeks. Saw the hotel charges on our credit card. Followed you one night. His voice cracks. I saw you kiss him. I can't breathe. Then why? Why didn't you say anything? Because I thought... He stops. Starts again. I thought if I worked harder, fixed things at work first, got the promotion secured, I could win you back. I thought you'd end it on your own. Torres and Harlow exchange glances. Neil, I whisper. I'm sorry. They're going to arrest you, Lila. Corporate espionage, accessory to fraud. You could get 10 years. His breath shudders, unless you cooperate. Tell them everything about him. Where he might go, what he talked about, who he contacted. I don't know anything. I don't even know his real name. Then we're both fucked. The line goes dead. Harlow closes the folder. Your husband's wrong about one thing. We're not going to arrest you. Not yet. What? Marcus, Ethan, whatever you called him, he made a mistake. He got attached. She pulls out another photo. This one's grainy surveillance footage. Ethan standing outside our house. Last night, after he'd supposedly disappeared, he came back. My heart hammers. He's been watching you. Sent 3 emails to an encrypted server in the last 48 hours. We can't crack them, but the subject lines... She shows me her tablet. She didn't know. She wasn't part of it. Don't touch her. He's protecting you, Torres says, which means he's either in love with you or you know something you don't realize you know. I don't think, Mrs. Chen. Did he ask you questions? About Neil's work, his schedule, his colleagues? I think back. Late nights in room 412. Ethan's hands in my hair, his voice low and warm. Tell me about your day. And I had. I'd told him everything. How Neil was stressed about the Henderson project. How he'd been working with the new security team. How he'd mentioned just once that they were moving sensitive data to a new server farm in Portland. Portland. There's another target. I breathe. He's not done. Harlow and Torres straighten. What else did you tell him? Everything. I told him everything. And somewhere out there, Marcus Vaughn, the man I thought loved me, is using every word to destroy another life. My phone buzzes again. A text from an unknown number. Meet me, midnight. The place where we first kissed. Come alone or I disappear forever. I owe you the truth. E. Harlow reads it over my shoulder. It's a trap, but she's wrong. It's not a trap, it's a choice. I shouldn't go. That's what Agent Harlow says as she wires me with a listening device so small I can barely feel it against my skin. He's a predator. He used you. Whatever he tells you tonight is manipulation. But her hands are shaking as she secures the wire, and I realize she's done this before. She sent women into rooms with men they loved, men who destroyed them and watched through cameras as those women learned the difference between love and leverage. What if he really does care? The question sounds pathetic even to me. Harlow's face softens just slightly. Then he would have told you the truth before he stole from your husband. She's right. I know she's right. But at 11:47 p.m. I'm standing outside the Riverside Hotel anyway, watching the neon sign flicker against the rain. Room 412, the place where we first kissed, where he told me I was brave for leaving a marriage that was killing me slowly. The lobby's empty except for a bored night clerk who doesn't look up from his phone. I take the elevator. The hallway smells like cigarettes and cleaning solution. My heart's hammering so loud I'm sure the agents listening through my wire can hear it. I knock. The door opens immediately. Ethan, Marcus, whoever he is, looks different. His hair's shorter, dyed black. He's wearing glasses I've never seen. But his eyes are the same, dark and intense and looking at me like I'm the only real thing in a world of shadows. You came. His voice cracks with something that sounds like relief. The FBI's listening. I don't step inside. They're in a van 2 blocks away. If you run, they'll catch you. I know. He holds up his hands. Empty. I'm not running. Then why? Because I need you to understand. He steps back, gesturing into the room. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. I should leave. Should signal Harlow and let them storm in and end this. But I step inside. The room looks different. The bed's made. There's no wine, no candles, none of the romantic staging he used to seduce me. Just a laptop on the desk, not Neil's, a different one, and a flash drive next to it. I want to show you something, he says. I know what you are. They showed me your file. 6 targets, 6 ruined marriages, 7. His jaw tightens. I'm working on number 7 right now. The cruelty in his voice makes me flinch. Why? My hands curl into fists. Why me? What did I do to deserve this? Nothing. He moves to the laptop, opens a file. That's the problem. None of you did anything except exist in proximity to valuable information. So you destroyed my life for money. Yes. He turns the laptop toward me. And no, the screen shows a photograph. A woman, maybe 50, with kind eyes and graying hair. She's laughing in the picture, her arm around a teenage boy who has Marcus's smile. My mother, he says quietly, Sarah Vaughn. She worked as an executive assistant for a tech CEO. 22 years.
Never missed a day.
Raised me alone after my father left. I don't want to hear this. Don't want to feel anything but hate. 3 years ago, her boss discovered she'd been reporting his accounting fraud to the SEC. He needed a scapegoat. Marcus's voice goes flat. He planted evidence on her work laptop. Made it look like she'd been embezzling for years. She went to prison for crimes she didn't commit. That's not my fault. She died there. 6 months into her sentence. Heart attack. Alone in a cell, he closes the laptop. The CEO who framed her? He's the board member at Meridian Technologies who recommended your husband for his promotion. The floor drops out from under me. You targeted Neil to get to destroy James Henderson, yes. The man your husband works for directly. The man who's built an empire on stolen innovation and ruined lives. Marcus picks up the flash drive. The files I copied from Neil's laptop? They weren't algorithms. They were Henderson's private communications. Evidence of fraud, bribery, offshore accounts. Everything my mother died trying to expose. I stare at him. You're lying, am I? He holds out the drive. Give this to the FBI. They'll find enough to put Henderson away for 20 years. Your husband will be cleared. He's not responsible for Henderson's crimes, but he's already under investigation. His career is he'll get it back. Once the truth comes out, Marcus steps closer. His eyes are wet. I never meant for you to get hurt. That part was real. Real? I laugh, and it sounds hysterical. You used me. You made me fall for you so you could destroy my husband's life. I made you fall for me because I fell for you first. He reaches for my hand and I jerk away. That night at the gallery, I was supposed to target you, yes. But then you started talking about how you felt invisible, how you'd forgotten what it was like to matter. And I saw my mother. Saw every person who gets crushed by powerful men who never face consequences. So this is revenge. This is justice. Justice? My voice rises. My husband's career is ruined. We're getting divorced. The FBI thinks I'm a criminal. You call that justice? Your husband works for a monster. Marcus's mask cracks. He executes Henderson's strategies, implements the systems that funnel money offshore. He's not innocent, Lila. He's just careful. You're wrong. Neil's a good man, is he? Marcus opens another file on the laptop. Emails, dozens of them. Neil's name in the sender field. Messages about offshore transfers and untraceable accounts and plausible deniability. No, these are fake. You fabricated. I pulled them from the backup server when I had his laptop. They're real. Marcus's voice softens. I'm sorry, but your husband isn't who you think he is. My legs give out. I sit on the edge of the bed and everything I thought I knew fractures like glass. Why show me this? I whisper. Why not just turn him in? Because I need you to choose. He kneels in front of me. The FBI's listening. You can tell them I'm here. They'll arrest me and I'll spend the next decade in prison. Henderson will bury the evidence and your husband will go down as the fall guy. Or you take the drive. You give it to someone you trust, not the FBI, not yet. You verify what I'm telling you, and when you know I'm telling the truth, he takes my hands. You help me finish this. You want me to choose you over my husband. I want you to choose truth over comfort. The wire taped to my chest feels like fire. In my ear, through the surveillance system, I hear Harlow's voice. Get him talking about the Portland job. We need confirmation. But Marcus isn't talking about Portland. He's looking at me like I'm the only person who's ever mattered. Like everything he's done, the lies, the seduction, the destruction, was somehow for me. I loved you, I say. I actually loved you. I know. His thumb traces circles on my palm. That's why this is going to hurt. He stands. Moves to the window and I realize too late what he's about to do. Marcus. He smashes the window with his elbow, and glass explodes into the night. Alarms shriek. In the distance, sirens wail. He turns back to me, blood dripping from his arm, and holds out the flash drive one last time. Choose, he says, and then he jumps. Marcus doesn't die. The FBI catches him 3 blocks away, limping through an alley with a dislocated shoulder and a gash on his forehead that bleeds into his eyes. Agent Torres tackles him into a dumpster, and I watch from the hotel window as they drag him into a van. Still holding the flash drive he never let go of. Harlow pulls the wire from my chest with hands that tremble with fury. You let him talk, she says. You stood there and let him manipulate you with some bullshit sob story about his mother. He showed me evidence. My voice is steady. Too steady. Evidence against James Henderson. Henderson's a decorated executive with 3 congressional commendations. Marcus Vaughn is a con artist who's destroyed 6 marriages for profit. She gets in my face. Whatever he showed you was fabricated. That's what he does. He finds your weak spot and digs until you bleed. Then why did he keep the flash drive? Why not run without it? Harlow pauses. Because, Torres says from the doorway. He knew we'd confiscate it. He wanted us to have it. They exchange looks I can't read. Ma'am, Torres says carefully, we need to take you home now. But when I get home at 3 a.m., Neil's car is in the driveway, and every light in the house is on. I find him in his study, surrounded by boxes. He's packing, methodically removing 15 years of our marriage from the shelves, photo albums, wedding gifts, the framed sketch I drew of him on our honeymoon. Neil. He doesn't look up. Agent Harlow called. Said you met with him. Said you let him touch you. I was wired. They were listening. I know. He finally meets my eyes and I see it. He's not angry. He's broken. She also said he jumped out a window, risked his life to get away from you. He didn't jump to escape. He jumped because I stop. Because why? Because he wanted to be caught? Because he wanted the FBI to have the evidence? Neil stands, crosses to me. For a moment, I think he's going to hit me. Instead, he hands me an envelope. What is this? Henderson visited me today, at the office. He said the investigation's been dropped. The breach was traced to an external hack. I'm cleared. His laugh is hollow. He's promoting me. Senior Vice President. Triple my salary. The envelope feels heavy. Open it, Neil says. Inside is a check. $2 million. Made out to me. He wants me to make sure you stay quiet. About whatever Marcus told you. Whatever you think you know. Neil's voice drops. He knows you met with him. Knows you saw something. How does Henderson... Because Henderson owns half the FBI's field office. Because men like him don't face consequences, Lila. They buy their way out. Neil takes the check back, tears it in half. But I'm not taking his money. And I'm not letting him use you as leverage. I stare at him. You believe me? About the evidence? I don't know what to believe anymore. He sits on his desk, head in his hands. I spent 15 years building a career. Thought I was doing good work. Thought Henderson was a mentor. And now I'm looking at every email I've sent, every project I've executed, and I can't tell what was legitimate and what was... He trails off. Criminal. Yeah. I move to his computer. Show me, Lila. Show me what you worked on. Show me the projects Henderson assigned you. Let me see if Marcus was telling the truth. For a long moment, Neil just looks at me. Then he unlocks his computer. We spend the next 4 hours digging through files. And with each document, each offshore account, each coded message about relocated assets and sanitized transfers, my husband's face goes grayer. I didn't know, he whispers at dawn. I swear to God I didn't know, but he did. Somewhere deep down he'd known something was wrong. Known and looked away because the promotion was too good, the salary too high, the prestige too intoxicating. Just like I'd known Marcus was too perfect. Too available. Too interested in the wife of a nobody architect at a mid-tier tech firm. We're the same, I say softly. We both chose comfort over truth. Neil's hand finds mine, and for the first time in months I don't pull away. What do we do? He asks. I think of Marcus in a holding cell, bleeding and broken but still clutching that flash drive. Think of his mother dying alone in prison for crimes she didn't commit. Think of all the people Henderson has destroyed to build his empire. We finish it, I say. Neil looks at me. Really looks at me. If we do this, Henderson will come after us. We'll lose everything. The house, the savings, my career. Yours too. I don't care. Lila, I watched a man jump out a window because he believed truth mattered more than survival. I stand. I'm not letting his mother's death be for nothing. Neil's quiet for a long time. Then he opens a new file, starts copying documents to an external drive. We'll need protection, he says. A lawyer who can't be bought. A journalist Henderson doesn't own. Marcus said not to trust the FBI. He's right. Harlow and Torres. They've been too quick to shut down questions about Henderson. Too eager to focus on you and me instead of following the money. He's right. I've been so focused on my betrayal, on the affair and the guilt and the divorce papers, that I missed the bigger picture. This was never about me and Neil. It was about stopping us from looking up. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Check your email. Password invisible. I open my laptop. There's a new email account I don't recognize. I log in using the password, one message. No subject line. Just an attachment. Neil leans over my shoulder as I open it. It's a video file. Surveillance footage from the FBI van. But it's not from last night, it's from 3 weeks ago. The night Marcus first took Neil's laptop. In the video, Marcus enters room 412. But he's not alone. Agent Harlow is with him. They're laughing. She hands him something. An FBI badge. Credentials. And then she kisses him. Neil and I stare at the screen in silence. Oh my God, I breathe. It's not just Henderson, Neil says. The FBI's been protecting him. Harlow and Torres, they're not investigating. They're containing, the video continues. Marcus shows Harlow the laptop. She nods, takes photos of the files with her phone. She was never trying to catch him, I whisper. She was helping him look like a criminal so no one would believe what he found. My phone rings. Harlow's name flashes on the screen. Neil and I look at each other. I answer. Mrs. Chen. Harlow's voice is cold. I need you to come back to the field office. We have more questions about your husband's involvement. Of course, when? Now. And bring Neil. It's time we all had a conversation about the truth. She hangs up. Neil's already grabbing car keys, copying files, moving with the efficiency of someone who's finally seen the trap. We're not going to the FBI, he says. Then where? He looks at me. To the one person Henderson can't control. Who? Marcus's lawyer. And I realize Marcus planned this from the beginning. Every move, every revelation, every moment I thought I was choosing, he was steering me toward this, toward choosing him. Marcus's lawyer works out of a fifth-floor walk-up in a neighborhood where people don't ask questions. Her name is Diane Reeves, and she looks like someone's grandmother. Silver hair, reading glasses on a chain, cardigan with elbow patches. She also, Neil discovers within 5 minutes of meeting her, represented 3 whistleblowers who took down Fortune 500 CEOs. You're the wife, she says when I walk in, not looking up from the document she's reading. The one my client destroyed his life to protect. He destroyed my life too, did he? She finally meets my eyes. Or did he give you the truth you'd been avoiding for years? I don't have an answer. Neil sets his laptop on her desk. We have evidence. 15 years of internal communications from Meridian Technologies. Proof that James Henderson's been running a massive fraud operation. I know. Diane pushes a folder toward us. Marcus already provided similar documentation 6 months ago. We've been building a case ever since. 6 months? I stare at her. But he only met me 3 months ago. I know. She removes her glasses. Marcus's mother was my sister, Sarah Vaughn. She came to me when she first suspected Henderson was cooking the books. I told her to be careful, to gather evidence slowly. She didn't listen. Her voice cracked slightly. By the time I realized how deep Henderson's corruption went, Sarah was already in prison. And I was disbarred for unethical conduct when I tried to prove her innocence. You're disbarred? Neil says. Got my license back 8 months ago after a 3-year fight. First thing I did was help my nephew plan the longest revenge plot I've ever witnessed. She opens the folder. Inside are photos. Marcus with different women at different restaurants, different hotels, all the wives he'd targeted. They all agreed to help, Diane says. Once they learned the truth about their husbands' employers, Marcus didn't just seduce them, he recruited them. I feel sick. So I was just another mark. You were supposed to be. Diane pulls out another photo. This one's recent. Marcus and me in room 412, but we're not kissing. We're just talking. His face is soft in a way I've never seen it with the other women. But then something changed, Diane continues. He started calling me after your meetings. Said you were different. That you actually cared about truth, not just revenge. That you, she pauses, that you reminded him of his mother. Is that supposed to make this better? My voice shakes. He still lied to me. Still used me. Yes, he did. Diane's face is impassive. The question is, was he wrong about you? Before I can answer, her phone buzzes. She reads the message and her expression shifts. We need to move, now. What's happening? Neil demands. Henderson knows you're here. He's got police en route to confiscate your evidence under a sealed warrant. We have maybe 10 minutes. She's already grabbing files, shoving them into a briefcase. There's a car in the alley. My associate will take you somewhere safe. What about Marcus? The question escapes before I can stop it. Diane looks at me. What about him? Is he still in FBI custody? No, he posted bail an hour ago. How? His bail was set at $2 million. Someone paid it. She hands me a phone. He wants to talk to you. You don't have to answer. But if you do, he'll tell you where Henderson's offshore accounts are hidden. The ones even I can't find. I stare at the phone like it's a live grenade. Neil takes my hand. We should go. We have enough evidence already. He's right. We do. But I answer anyway. Hello, Lila. Marcus's voice sounds tired, defeated. I hear you found my aunt. You've been lying to me from the beginning. Yes. Everything was calculated. Everything we had. Not everything. He's quiet for a moment. I meant it when I said I loved you. I know you won't believe that. But it's true. Then why didn't you tell me the truth? Because you wouldn't have believed me. You would have run back to Neil and warned him. Henderson would have buried the evidence and my mother would have died for nothing. His voice breaks. I needed you to see it yourself. To choose justice even when it cost you everything. It did cost me everything, I know. I'm sorry. He takes a shaky breath. The offshore accounts are in the Cayman Islands. Institution number 4782. Password is your birthday. Henderson used your information when he set them up. Probably to frame you if things went south. I write it down with trembling hands. Why are you telling me this? Because you're going to finish what my mother started. And because, he pauses, because I need you to know I never meant to fall in love with you. That wasn't part of the plan. What was the plan? To destroy Henderson. To clear my mother's name. To burn down the empire of every man who profits from other people's pain. His voice drops. But then I met you and you were so good, Lila. Even when you were betraying your husband, you felt guilty. You hated yourself for wanting something more than the life you'd settled for. So you exploited that. So I recognized it, because I'm the same. He laughs bitter. My whole life has been about revenge. About making powerful men pay. But you made me want something different. Made me think maybe there was still a chance for people like us. People like us. People who've spent so long being invisible that they'll destroy everything just to be seen. I close my eyes. In the background I hear sirens. They're coming for you, I whisper. I know. I'm at the hotel. Room 412, he pauses. I couldn't leave without saying goodbye to the place where I first kissed you. Marcus, tell Neil he's a good man. Tell him his career wasn't built on lies, just compromises. There's a difference. His breath catches. And tell him I'm sorry for making you choose between truth and love. You deserved both. The line goes dead. Diane's pulling me toward the door, but I can't move. He's turning himself in, I say. He already did. 3 minutes ago. Walked into the FBI field office and confessed to everything, except the parts that would incriminate you or the other wives. Diane's face is grim. He's taking full responsibility. He'll get 20 years minimum. We have to stop him, but we can't. This was always the plan. She meets my eyes. He was never going to escape. He just needed to live long enough to make sure Henderson went down first. We run. Neil and I spend the next 3 days in a safe house, turning over evidence to a special prosecutor Diane trusts. 6 months later, Henderson gets 40 years. Neil testifies, then quits Meridian and starts teaching ethics at a community college. We don't divorce, we rebuild slowly like strangers learning to trust again. I visit Marcus once. He's thinner, grayer, but his eyes still burn with that dangerous certainty. Do you hate me? He asks. No, I say, and realize it's true. You didn't destroy everything for him. I stand to leave, then pause at the door. You destroyed everything for her. Your mother. And somehow, my voice breaks. Somehow that makes it worse. Because I understand. He smiles, that same devastating smile that ruined me. That's why I chose you. I never visit again. But every year on his mother's birthday, I send flowers to her grave. Neil comes with me. We don't talk about Marcus, but we both know. Some people don't save you. They just show you who you've been pretending not to be, and sometimes that's enough.